You know what? As much as I don't like to say this, when I watched Arsenal today, they were incredible. When I watched them versus West Ham, they were incredible. When I watched them versus Liverpool, they were incredible. Every single game they've played since they've come back from this Dubai trip, they have been incredible. They've made it look easy. This is an Arsenal side that has struggled over the last 10 years. And Mikel Arteta has come in and last season made Arsenal play good football, look really well, look good. This season, they didn't look as good to begin with. But all of a sudden, it's like they've clicked on that Dubai thing and they look incredible. They now have the best goal difference in the league. The title race is sickening because as a Manchester United fan, I have to watch cheating City, Arsenal, who have so many irritating fans, no offence, and then Liverpool, our biggest enemy, all compete in this title race where all three teams look incredible. And I want to say something. You have to give Arsenal credit here. People wrote them out the title race because they had a little blip. But they went to Dubai. I don't know what they did in Dubai, but they've just come back and they've been incredible. They've had people writing them off. And I said, this is a mental thing for Arsenal. I said, Arsenal, I wouldn't write them out the title race, but how they respond mentally is massive. Because I think mentally, once things went wrong last season for Arsenal, they kind of fell off with the Saliba injury. I said, if Arsenal can bounce back from this and beat Liverpool, there's every way and every chance that they can win the league. And they have 36 goal difference, which is the best because Liverpool have got 35, Man City have got 31. And people will say, look, but they just beat West Ham, Palace, Burnley. It's not that deep. It's not that big. They also beat Liverpool. They're beating Liverpool. They're beating City this season. They've absolutely smashed the sides that took points off them at the end of last season when they dropped points, and they're playing well and convincingly now. Sometimes they were winning games earlier in the season where they weren't as convincing, but you look at Arsenal, they look good. I'm looking at Kai Havertz and I'm saying, now, you know what? I can see what Arteta's doing now. And I was like, I don't know why they're signing Kai Havertz. Odegaard, he's dropped into this deeper role, been unbelievable, making them tick. Bukayo Saka, world-class shouts. He's continuing to fuel the world-class shouts. Trossard coming in, making an impact. Thought Martinelli had quite a good game. Declan Rice, Mr. Declan Consistent Rice, who's always good. Defensively solid. Ben White, sort of new role as well. And I've looked at a few tactical changes Arteta's made, and do subscribe because I'm going to do a tactical video on this tomorrow and why Arsenal have become so much better since the break. I'll do a video looking into the tactical changes of Ben White, Odegaard's role, and that as well. But you have to give Arteta props because this Arsenal side, when he came in, hadn't in the Champions League in a long time, was quite toxic. There was bad culture. He got rid of a lot of the fan favourites, Aubameyang and Lacazette. He's rebuilt the side from scratch. A lot of criticism, a lot of stick. People write them out the title race already. And he's probably got Arsenal playing the best football and the best they've been. You could argue in 10 years. They've scored, 11 goals in the last 2 games away from home, conceded 0, didn't like conceding. They didn't have Tomiyasu, Timber, Zinchenko, Partey, Vieira, or Gabriel Jesus today, who I believe are all key and important players to Arsenal. And you've got to give them credit. And there's 3 players I want to talk about in Odegaard, Havertz, and Saka in today's video and dive into some statistics and stuff on them right now. Starting with Bukayo Saka. Now, I've always liked Bukayo Saka. I've always thought he was a good player. He's one of those footballers I like to watch. I remember watching in the England and the Euros, and I was like, you know what? I see the Saka hype now. And that's when I've really brought into Saka and what he adds, not just because he's a hard-working player, but because he's a direct player. And that finish for that second goal that he scored is sort of becoming his trademark. His ball striking is incredibly underrated, a really underrated attribute of Saka's. But this is Saka scoring 2 goals today. Saka scored, 2 goals last game as well? Could have got a hat-trick, but came off early. But I think that's Mikel Arteta finally learning to make the right subs. Let's not take the risk on Saka. I think Saka's got as many goal contributions in 26 this season than he matched the whole of last season. It is February, and Saka has 26 goal contributions. I see Arsenal fans give Saka stick, only a few of them. I see people give Saka stick. But I'm thinking this is a guy that's basically gets no rest, that is absolutely exhausted, that works incredibly hard, that has got 26 goal contributions this season. And he still gets criticism, and he still gets people say, oh, he's a good player, but he's not a great player. He is a great player because this is Arsenal in one of their greatest eras. Even if Arsenal don't win the league title this season, the fact that they've managed to compete with Liverpool and Manchester City the last 2 seasons, the treble winning side, compete with them to the very end, you have to be a good team to do that. And I'm saying this, and I don't like saying this because I don't like Arsenal, but I'm saying this as a rival. This Arsenal side, even if they don't win the league this season, are brilliant. We saw it today. We saw how easy they were making it. And Saka is key to that brilliance. So when people don't think Saka's a brilliant player, I don't get my head around it. It's not just about output, but it's like this is a guy that is key to the success at Arsenal in one of the most successful eras, even though they haven't won a trophy. He is basically running at players. He's direct. He makes things happen. He is a great player. And I think because he bailed Arsenal out when they were bad, and now Arsenal are good, and if he has a poor game, he gets stick. But this is a guy that's been good when Arsenal were bad and good when Arsenal were good. And I think he's been very reliable for Arsenal. And I think he gets a lot of disrespect, in my opinion. I think there's Arsenal fans that, of course, overhype their own players. We know all about it. But I also think that Saka's one of those that when things go wrong, he gets a lot more stick than other players, maybe because the expectations are higher. But no player's got more stick than Havertz. And even myself, I was questioning the Kai Havertz signing, to be honest. But Arteta's getting something out of Havertz. And you've got to give Arteta credit for this. Arteta, a lot of people were questioning him. 65 million. What is he doing? Every single game that goes by, as Havertz grows in confidence, you're slowly seeing, okay, all right, Arteta has a plan for Havertz here. Arteta might seriously have a plan for Havertz here. He's playing well. You look at Havertz, you look at his off-the-ball movement. You look at how he's involved in almost every goal, even if it's a pre-assist. You look at just his general movement, his off-the-ball movement, his little passes, and you go, actually, I'm seeing something. I still think they need a left centre mid Arsenal, but he's almost unlocked the attacking potential. He's always been an outlet because he's tall. He can allow Arsenal to play with a man-to-man press. He can make those complicated runs in behind and almost be that box-crashing midfielder that's difficult to mark at times, which is what we're seeing today. But it's this off-the-ball movement. Today, Kai Havertz drew away 2 men from Odegaard, so that gave Odegaard shooting space for the first goal. He then gave Trossard the pass that led to the penalty. He then gave Odegaard the pass that led to the third goal, and then that Havertz goal was the best goal I've seen Havertz score. I know he scored in Champions League finals, and I think Havertz is a big game player. And yes, it's Burnley, but I think we're at that stage in the season where Burnley and West Ham are becoming big games because Arsenal dropped points to West Ham last season. I think even if you're playing Burnley, West Ham, Palace, these are all massive games for Arsenal because of they have to win every game because Liverpool are winning every game and City are winning every game. And I think when it's a big stage, I think Havertz steps up. And I think he does a lot of good work off the ball, a lot of good movement. He creates space. And although I don't think his on-the-ball work and technical ability is amazing, the goal, the nutmeg, that was Maradona-esque. He does get good numbers. He got brilliant numbers at Bayer Leverkusen. He got ridiculous numbers. And I know that it's the Bundesliga, but I think we're seeing it, his importance to the team, his movement. But I think when the team is built, when Arsenal get that left centre mid in, when Arsenal get that striker in, when Arsenal have their fullbacks fit, and when that Arsenal team is built, I do think you're going to see Kai Havertz unlocked and potentially the Kai Havertz that Arsenal were looking to sign. Now, lastly, I do want to talk about Martin Odegaard because I know I waited till the end to talk about Odegaard, but I generally think he was my man of the match today. I think he was incredible versus West Ham. He's been playing in, I'd say, a much deeper role recently, and I've been really, really impressed with him. Not only the assist he got today, the goal was absolutely incredible. And if we get Odegaard's game numbers up here for you guys, you'll be able to see just how good Martin Odegaard was. And he was a guy that got dropped, had a slow start to the season, but since he's come back, he's been incredible. 88 touches, 85% pass accuracy. But I'm looking at 3 key passes. I'm looking at the goal. I'm looking at the assist. An incredible goal, an incredible assist. Winning his duels. Long balls were good. 3 key passes was key. What I'm noticing about Odegaard is I think his all-round game, not just that he's scoring goals, not just that he's creating, and he's actually created the most chances in the league, I believe. It's more about the fact that actually when I'm looking at Odegaard, I'm seeing a guy that is now linking really well with Declan Rice and linking the ball to the forwards and moving the ball better. I'm seeing a guy that's now combining with Saka and creating a good relationship with Saka. They've got now combined 9 or 10 goals together this season. I'm looking at a guy that can compose and make the team tick, that can score, that can assist. He doesn't just score, he doesn't just assist. He also has the ability to control the games, drop deep, recycle the ball, help him build up, do those small things, progress the ball, carry the ball, help him build up, all those small things, and then interlink with his teammates because of his understanding of the game and doing those 1-2s, which I think is really important. And I think he dropped off a bit. He got benched and then he responded to that. And he was like, even when he wasn't getting the goals and assists, there was some games where he was having some really good games at output where I just think Arsenal need to finish their chances. And he's almost becoming more of an 8 than a 10. I'm seeing a really good 8 in Odegaard when he's dropping deeper. And I think he looks best when he's just allowed to float across the pitch and run the game and given that freedom. We've seen it today. I do really want to talk about Declan Rice. I do want to talk about the defensive display and improvement in Arsenal, but I don't want to make this video too long, but I might do a video. So subscribe for this on Arteta's 3-2-2 sort of formation where he's kind of fixed it, and it's not just about White inverting, but how Odegaard's dropping deeper and allowing space, or maybe something on the role of Havertz. So if you're interested in that, do subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.